Hey guys, welcome to your first block-based programming tutorial. Today we're going to be talking about sprites and their properties. So starting off here, looking at what the user would see on the right. Okay, this sprite is named Scratch, and Scratch Scratch the Cat is the mascot sort of the Scratch programming language. So when you see this cat, every single time it will pop up, you can easily delete him by clicking on this trash can icon here, but we're not going to delete him right now. We're going to use him for several things. So to start off, we're going to look at the properties of Scratch. Okay, we're going to look at not just his name, but the X and Y coordinates, being able to show him the visibility of it, his size, and direction. So to start off, I'm going to change his name by clicking in there and changing it to Scratch, since his name is Scratch the Cat. All right. By doing that, we can access his name Scratch and not just be known as Sprite1. It's always good to name your objects. Then also I want you to look at the X and Y coordinates. Now many of you have taken math classes in the past and dealt with coordinate planes and graphing. You should know that where the X and the Y axis meets, right in the middle, is the origin at 0, 0. So if you want your object, which is a sprite in Scratch, if you want your object to be right at the middle, know that you should put him at 0, 0. Okay. If I were to drag and drop him somewhere else in here, you see that the X and Y coordinate changes, right? If I move him over here, negative 162, 13, okay? If I ever want him to go back to the middle, I can just click in the X coordinate, make a 0, and then the Y coordinate, make a 0. All right. Now let's talk about visibility. If you would like Scratch the Cat to be there but not visible, you can click this, looks like an eyeball with a line through it, right? If you click on that, he disappears, he hides. And then if you click on this, he would show up. So that's hide and that's show. So if you want to keep him and just hide him, you can click on the hide button. But let's show him right now. The size is what percentage of the size of him you would like to show. So if you wanted to see 50% of Scratch, you want him at 50%, you would type in 50 and hit enter. Now he's half the size. Okay. If you wanted to see him twice as big, type in 200, click enter, and now he's twice as big. We're going to go ahead and put him back to the standard 100%. And direction is what direction that he's facing in, okay? You can change the direction by spinning him around. Right there, he's upside down at negative 90, about there. If I wanted to edit that direction without dragging it, I could just come down here and change it, right? He's facing 90 degrees. You could also show that he only moves left and right if you want him to move all around, right? So if I have only left and right and I move him this way, he's only going to move left and right. If I have him move all around, hover over it and it says all around, that would make him move around in a circle. If you were to like bounce off a wall or move throughout the game, right? And then if I wanted him to not move at all, do not rotate, he only faces one direction and does not move throughout the entire game. So he's stuck that way if you set a certain degree. So I'm going to go ahead and drag that back to 90. So that's how you would change his direction. The last thing that I wanted to talk about is just being able to know that these properties are only accessible to this object. As we add additional sprites, additional objects in Scratch are called sprites. As we add additional sprites, we will be editing them differently than this sprite. And just because you edit one sprite differently does not mean that it's going to affect the other. So just to recap, today we showed very briefly how we would go through and edit some of Scratch's properties, being able to manipulate the name, the size, the direction, and the visibility. And that in the next tutorial, we're going to be talking about the stage and backdrops over here. So once again, thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next time.